What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to my channel. It's your girl, Absolutely April. Welcome back for another reality recap. We are on Married to Medicine. This is episode 10. Episode 10 is the Holi-slay. Slay. Holi-slay. So yes, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I do reality recaps. I do a range of topics. I give a little bit of my opinion. I try to mix in a little bit of humor, a little bit of spirituality. So yeah, I do a lot here, and I give you my heart. So come on and join my tribe. Subscribe to the channel. If you have watched more than one of my videos, I appreciate you. Welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified on all of my uploads when I upload them on my reality recaps. I try to stay on schedule, but sometimes I'm a little off, but I'm here. Let's get into the Holi-slay of it all for Married to Medicine episode 10. Boom, boom. So it starts out, everyone is decorating their homes for Christmas. It definitely made me kind of nostalgic for a little bit of Christmas. I was like, Dad, I wish my tree was up. So I can't wait to start decorating my home for Christmas. I might do a little judge for fall, but yeah, I love to see all of the ladies home. I wish we can get a more detailed outlook of what Quad's new house look like because I'm very interested to see her decor, maybe get some ideas for my home. As always, I love seeing Anila's home. So it was absolutely wonderful to see some of the homes decorated in the nice little Christmas stuff. Christmas is one of my favorite holidays outside of Thanksgiving because I really like the Thanksgiving food more than anything. So Simone invites Audrey, her husband, Dr. Martin, Toya, Dr. Eugene, and Quad to her dinner. Now, I guess Simone is still doing research for her book. So I don't know. I feel like it's just a way for Dr. Simone and Cecil to get in people's business because I don't know where this book, I haven't heard anything else about this book. If this is around Christmas, we are heading to another Christmas and still no book or any word about this book. But yet it's still they're having their research for this couple's book. So they are all here. Dr. Cecil. Cecil kind of teases Dr. Simone about he invited Dr. Heavenly and Damon back for a redo. So yeah, I'm glad that did not happen because I think we got enough of Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Contessa to last us a lifetime. So Dr. Martin asked if they ever asked the couples if they ever romanticized the past. If it makes making the hard times a little less, the hard times a little less hard. And Dr. Eugene said it just really depends on the ebb and flow of your relationship. If you are in a bad space at that particular time, then you may harp on the past a little bit more. If you're in a good space, you kind of like it's water under the bridge. So it just depends on where you are in your marriage. And I totally agree with Dr. Eugene. It just depends. Marriage it has a lot of ebbs and flows. One day you could be the best of friends, and then the next minute you can be like, oh, I can't stand them. So yeah, I definitely agree with Dr. Eugene. So Dr. Martin follows up with the question, says, should you walk away when you are in, a downward spiral or in a downward, at a down space in your marriage? And Toya pipes up and says, well, you can't walk away because you are in the same house. And technically she's right. You can't really walk away. But it doesn't matter about being in the same house because you can physically leave the house if you want to. But it matters on, do you want to stick it out? Like, do you know that this is just a fleeting moment? We may not be seeing eye to eye at this moment, but we can definitely get on the same page at some time or another. That's how I always saw it, and that's what motivated me, because at the foundation of everything, I loved my husband. And even though he got on my last nerves at times, and I probably got on his at times, we loved each other, and we were good friends, and we were good partners. So I knew that at the end of the day, that's what I wanted to work towards. That's what I wanted to build. I wanted to build a family. And I didn't have delusions of grandeur that we would never argue or we would always see eye to eye. We two different people coming together trying to make things work. He has one set of ideas, I have another. And we just have to figure out how to make things work and compromise. So Toya also, Dr. Scott, not Scott, Cecil says that you have to remember that you're partners and you're in it together. And Toya says that it's the same thing goes for, having a family or being a friendship, I'm sorry. So she says the same goes for friendship. So Audrey says that she feels like sometimes friendship, she doesn't know where she stands with friendship, because, friendships can go either way. It could be backbiting in friendships. And she relates to when Toya said, call her a bad attorney. And she also said, I know that you were talking about my attire. I, wore this champion outfit, and you had an issue with it. So, Toya says, she was like, basically, Audrey saying, I don't really care about label. Toya is like, well, if we are dressing up here in Vegas and you are down here dressing, in your champion, then it's a problem. Why, Toya? Why is what Audrey has on has anything to do with you? So it got into that whole situation where Audrey was like, I am, planning for a wedding. I know I need a budget. Toya is not trying to hear that. We all have the budget during a wedding. But it's just like, why is it that what Audrey does make you so upset? I just feel like at the end of the day, Toya is hazing her. Dr. Heavenly did it to Contessa when she kept calling her Cone Tessa and stuff like that, and just bothering Contessa when she was new. And I think that Toya is doing this exact same thing, and she's probably a little lightweight jealous of Audrey. She is an attorney. Her husband is a doctor. She has things going for herself, and I think Toya just want to pick at her. So Quad feels that Toya is being judgmental and her self-esteem lies into wearing labels. And I have to agree. I think that when Toya is overcompensating her labels for feeling the security that she's not getting in her relationship, the happiness that she's not feeling in her relationship, she's trying to supplement it with those labels and wearing labels and stuff. So Toya is not happy. She's not happy. She's shown it in previous episodes. She's made like digs to Dr. Eugene. She's just not really happy. And right now, I feel like she finds happiness in her outer appearance and what she is showing to the outside world. She wants to put up the facade that everything is all good. We are living the life of luxury, and me and Eugene are happy, and they really are not. I mean, if you take the labels away and you had a great relationship, a loving, felt totally secure in your relationship, I don't think Toya would be concerned about the labels, honestly. Or maybe she would. I don't know. So Scott wants to, I keep calling him Scott. Cecil wants to redirect the whole conversation. Eugene says he wants to redirect the energy in the room because it was getting to a point where it was getting to escalator like it was between Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Contessa. So Quad asks about how to accept an alpha woman and keep she's asking the men, how do you accept the alpha woman and keep your masculinity? So I took the liberty of looking up the difference in what an alpha woman is and traits of an alpha woman. And one of the traits stuck out. It was like being emotionally intelligent, being confident, being able to handle criticism. So I get that Quad is confident, but she can't handle criticism. And I'm not sure how emotionally intelligent that Toya is. So are they, would you consider that an alpha female? If that, I mean, if you look up the traits, now some of them that, definitely Quad does possess, but then some of them, not being able to handle criticism, Quad does not do that well because whatever Dr. Heavenly says or anybody says negative against Quad or just an observation about Quad, she has an issue and it really stings for Quad, and it stings her to her core to the point where she will fall out with you. So I don't know. Do you think? Comment down below. Do you think Quad is actually an alpha male? Do you think? I mean, alpha female? Do you think Toya is an alpha female? I like to see you all's comments on that one. So, Dr. Dr. Eugene said he chose a woman that he basically couldn't run over. So he knew that he couldn't run over Toya. But I'm like, Eugene, you just don't really have the personality that you would run over a female. I don't know. He doesn't really come across as that type of personality to run over someone. I think what I get from Eugene is that Toya is definitely the prize. Toya is probably I won't say the prettiest, but he probably looks at Toya as like she's a trophy, like as a trophy. Like Dr. Eugene really comes across like as this goofy, lovable guy. I don't see him bagging a lot of girls like that. I'm not picking that up from Dr. Eugene. And picking someone up, I guess, in his mindset of the caliber of a Toya, because Toya is a beautiful woman. Toya has body, she's beautiful. Her personality to me is the one that stinks. But she's beautiful. On the outside, everything looks good. She knows how to conduct herself in a formal setting because she she made an issue with Audrey coming to a dinner party dressed in jeans, and Audrey and Martin dressed in jeans, and Martin had on tennis shoes. So Toya is very, she knows how to assimilate in formal settings. So I think all of that Eugene likes. I don't think it has anything to do with him not being able to run him over, because he just does not have that personality. Because Toya runs you, Eugene, in my opinion. I mean, he does speak up, but Toya runs that household. According to Dr. Heavenly, Dr. Eugene be doing the cooking, doing the cooking and everything, and Toya sits around. So if that's the case, you are getting run over. I don't know. So Dr. Simone says she's going to write a chapter for Eugene and Cecil about being vulnerable. And Eugene says he is vulnerable. He says he is very vulnerable, and he showed vulnerability when he came up to Toya and said he had to apologize because last year he wasn't the best team player, and he knows that, and he realizes that, and he wanted to take this time out to publicly apologize to Toya. And Toya kind of looks back and she takes it in and she's like, we're good. I did not get the warm and fuzzy that Toya is really good. I feel like she's still not happy. She still has some issues that needs to be worked through. And I'm pretty sure, I feel like Eugene kind of felt it too, but he didn't really harp on the point. But I do appreciate Eugene taking the time out to apologize, even though Dr. Eugene, I mean, if you got to call a spade a spade. Eugene worked during the pandemic. He saw a lot of death. He saw a lot, working long hours. That is a lot for one person, and you probably would mentally check out. And this is when you know that as a wife, I feel like, okay, I do have to kind of step it up because I know my husband is in a bad place. I know he's going to come back from it, but I'm going to have to step it up. Like, for instance, my husband was working and going to school at the same time. We had a young child. Was it hard? Yeah, because a lot of it fell on me. A lot of the stuff fell on me because, he was going back and forth, with school and with work. And when he would come home, he did homework, and he would try to be available as he could. Sometimes he just couldn't, and I just had to read the room to know, like, or I would tell him, encourage him, take a break. Let's do this, let's do that. Get your mind off something. Let's do something fun. Just because I knew, even though I'm tired, I knew that he's tired. And this is a time where he needed my support more than anything. So that's kind of how I'm saying for Toya, it's like this Ponderosa, this, this pandemic that we had and still have, it was a lot on doctors, and I guess you just have to kind of put yourself to the side and just, take one for the team. That's basically what I'm saying. Cecil asked Martin and Audrey what issues that they really have in their marriage, that they are working on. And Dr. Martin says that Audrey prioritizes based off of her list, not necessarily, takes into consideration what he has going on. And, Audrey seems to agree because she's shaking her head, or there's something that they've talked about before. And he says sometimes to get through to her, he says, should I do tit for tat? Quad immediately chimes in and says, oh, no, do not do tit for tat, because that will be the death of your relationship. Because she realized that's one of the things that was the downfall with her and Dr. G, is that they started doing the tit for tat thing. And you just have to realize that you're going to have each couple person, and you're going to have bad days. She's going to have a bad day. He's going to have a bad day. You just have to work it out and work together, and don't do the tit for tat thing. And communication, to me, is all about communication. Like, being effective in your communication and not just sulking in it like, oh, she did it again, and now I got an attitude, and she don't, you just have to call her out like, babe, I don't like when you do X, Y, Z. Could you not? And if she continues to do it, it's gonna, this is something that we're gonna have a longer conversation about, because I don't like it. It makes me feel. You need to utilize some emotional intelligence when it comes to that. So, by the way, while I'm looking at Cecil and Simone's research for books, why didn't they include the Sajas? Anila and Dr. Kieran wasn't at any of these dinner parties, so I found that very odd. So we go on. Quad is planning for her Holi-slay party, her Christmas party / housewarming party. Quad tells her planner she isn't going to be wasteful, because the planner was saying if something don't work, we'll just throw it out. And Quad was like, no, we will not be wasteful. We will not be like the Harrises. So light shade, no, it wasn't even light shade. That was very much shade. So, and she says again, like, she thinks back to when Toya threw a party and had this live camel. She said, never will I buy a camel or rent a camel, nor will I buy a pack of Camels cigarettes. Like, that's just not what she's planning on doing. And I get that. In their neighborhood, I don't know why you would get a big old camel. It just does not make sense. But I get it. Toya's extra. So Anila and her family are wearing matching pajamas. Anila tries to make instant hot chocolate. She's having some issues. She's asking Kieran for help. Anila, sweetheart, I like you, but girl, number one, the instructions are on the packets. Number two is all you're doing is, if you're going to use milk, boil the milk, put the chocolate in each one of the mugs and stir it up. Anila's mom said put water in it. Now, I think milk makes it a lot more creamy, and it has a different taste to it. But I mean, you can get away with water too, but milk, to me, warm up the milk is great for hot chocolate. So Dr. Kieran says he wants to make their own tradition. So that's why they are, wearing matching pajamas, and they're making their gingerbread houses. Anila says her mom being in the house has been a complete disaster. And I could have told you, girl, two queens can't reside in the same castle. Just that it does not work. Find you someone else to help you with your kids that is not related to you. That's just all, that's what needs to happen. So Anila talks about, Anila's mom says that she didn't like that Ms. Gomez didn't give Anila enough notice. And Anila tries to shut it down and tells her it was a family emergency. Her mom wasn't trying to hear it. And her mom was like, well, you didn't say that before. She said, well, I'm telling you now, it was a family emergency. So clearly the mom now misses Miss Gomez as well, because Miss Gomez did everything. Miss Gomez, oh my God. The family emergency was that Miss Gomez's family was like, you will not be a slave for nobody else's family. You need to come on back home. We'll take care of you. You will not, we refuse for you to be a slave. And that's exactly, she was probably getting paid, at least I hope she was getting paid. But that Miss Gomez was doing a whole bunch, and I bet she was getting paid half as much as she should have been getting paid. So meanwhile, Quad is doing finishing touches on her Christmas party / housewarming before her guest arrives. Toya and Eugene reflect on the last time they had a situation with Quad, and where I guess they were having financial issues, and Quad bought them a basket with Vienna sausages and ramen noodles and stuff like that. So Audrey and Martin, they arrive and they are in awe. They're looking around like they are in the Taj Mahal. They are in awe of what Quad has going on. Audrey is very proud that a Black woman did this by herself. So I wish I could go see Quad's house, because I love some of the stuff that she did with some of the rooms. I saw the different textures. I need her to do a walkthrough. Quad, Miss Quad, please do a big walkthrough. You need to get a YouTube channel so we can see your house and how it's decorated. But I get it, because they in Atlanta, they're kicking indoors. So I guess you don't want to put too much of your stuff on the internet and for people to see, because they kicking indoors around here. And I don't know exactly where Quad lives, but I know she's in the Atlanta area. So yeah, never mind. Be careful, Quad. So Heavenly comes in and she congratulates Quad on her house and say, you did this by yourself. You know how Heavenly does. So yeah, Toya gives Quad her gag gift, but Quad didn't give into the hype, because Toya wanted to give her a little gag gift that had a snuggie because she'd be alone, and a diva t-shirt that said divorced, intelligent, vivacious, awesome. So, but Quad clocked that coming, and she was like, thank you, and did not even feed into it, because Toya was ready for some back and forth, and it did not land. So that's what you get, Toya. Simone and Quad wear similar dresses, and Quad said, who wore best? You, Miss Quad, you wore best, because I did not like the way Simone's was fitting. And maybe it's just her shape, because she does have a little boxy shape, but I didn't like the boots, the shoes that she wore with it either. And I felt like if it's going to be like a midi, it needs to be a midi. It was kind of like to her ankles, and I realized that Dr. Simone is a little short, but the midi wasn't midian. Anila arrives with her with the ex-friend of Toya, Zaina, and let's see, and she says, so this is crazy. I had to realize what I put in my notes. First of all, Toya comes in with Eugene to Quad's house with this lady named Carmitha. And now Carmitha is looking at Quad's house up and down. You could tell her energy was off. As soon as she walked in, her energy was off. Now Carmitha will come up later in the episode. So as when Anila walks in, she's greeting everybody. Toya immediately says that you look like you going for figure skating. Now it was a lot of rhinestones, and Toya said, rhinestones went out in the 80s. It was a lot of rhinestones. Would it be my liking? No. But if Anila likes it, why does it bother you, Toya? Again, why does what someone else wear bother you, Toya? So they, everybody's enjoying the party, the ambiance. Toya and Contessa over there taking photos. They now the best of friends. Dr. Damon walks in. He looks very handsome. Dr. Heavenly was dropping everything. She said, "This is my man." So I enjoy their relationship. Uh, Quad invites everyone to the backyard so they can enjoy s'mores, and Quad is going to give her grand monologue, greeting her guests, and give a little bit of motivation, to her guests. So Heavenly tells Jackie as they get ready, come go to the back. She tells them that Anila tells her that Anila has invited someone who has said that Toya was cheating on her husband, invited her to the party. So Heavenly was like, I'm not feeling that because that's just, you don't want to blindside everybody, and we're supposed to be a sisterhood, so we should be better than that. And I agree, you don't want to blindside nobody like that. Don't, especially it's a party, a festive party. You don't want to bring in the drama. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. But I get it. It's for TV. Um, Heavenly says that Neela was being messy and wrong. Um, Eugene and Toya, they over there talking amongst themselves saying they messed up giving Quad the microphone. But Eugene, that's her house. She can do whatever she wants to. If she want to talk the whole night, that's her house. That's her party. You can leave if you don't want to listen to Quad. Then, after Quad does her whole monologue and, talks about, her mom, bringing her mom here and just moving on past divorce, I think it was a really nice little speech. Now, I don't know how long it lasted because of editing, but she definitely said you don't have to be destitute after divorce. You can come up. So I think that's a motivation for anybody, man or woman. If you're going through a divorce, you don't have to let it get the best of you. The best is there's still, life after divorce. So after that, some break dancers come out, and Heavenly asked Audrey if her and Toya has spoken tonight, and she said they haven't. And so she was like, sometimes labels validate people, and everybody is getting that from Toya. Toya needs constant validation, and labels make her feel good because she's not getting the intrinsic value from her marriage or her husband. So labels is her man right now. So let's see. Anila, vents to Quad about Toya saying her outfit looks like an ice skater. Now, Anila, just leave it alone. We know Toya got an issue. Toya gonna say what she got to say, but don't let it get to you like that. You got a man. You're in love. You might be upset with your mom right now or annoyed with your mom. You still living a good life, girl. What Toya say don't need to matter to you. It don't need to hit you that hard. So the men get together and talk about marriage versus dating. Dr. Damon said he didn't see a difference. I bet it did for Dr. Damon. There is a difference. Me and my husband dated. We lived together prior to getting married. And once we got married, I won't say all hell broke loose, but it was, it was some tense moments. And you would think that because we are prior to that, we lived together and we kind of knew each other. It wasn't that we needed to assimilate. It's just how we thought of things. We had to get on the same page. Curtis, calls cap on Dr. Damon. I'm with you, Curtis. And he says there is a difference. And Dr. Kieran said after he got married, he never said I anymore. It was always we. So the pronouns definitely changed. Quad brings her friend over to let the ladies know that they wore the same Easter dress before she could even get the whole story out. Toya chimes in and butts in on the conversation, said, "I wore the same Easter dress as my best friend," and so no one knows what Quad was about to say because she got cut off. So Quad was definitely annoyed. Quad tells the ladies they are going to let her talk in her house, and so. As Quad is saying that, Audrey gets up and says, "You know what? I heard Toya talking. She heard that Toya was talking about her again, and she has a lot to say about everybody. And Audrey told Toya, says to Toya how, how, well, Audrey is saying how Toya is telling people she got $1 million off the house. So Audrey does the math in front of everybody. And honey, the math wasn't mathing. The math wasn't math. If Toya made $1 million off that sale, where's that? Where's that, boo? Because Audrey has broken down the numbers to the point where okay, after attorney's fees, you was gonna make $625,000, but then, boo, you got 7 liens in Fulton County. You are now in the negative. You don't have nothing. So Audra is really like grinding it into Toya. Like, you is around here lying about what you got off the sale of your house. So, and Audrey is a real estate attorney, so Audrey would know, right? So Toya's like, nobody cares. But they do, Toya, because you're around here lying. But it was just an awkward situation. So after that, Simone gets up and was like, let's just go. Let's just go. Heavenly was like, you can't control her. At this point, I'm pretty sure Toya is a little drunk. She's like, no, you can't control me. So she stays. Now, what Toya should have did was took the cue from Dr. Simone and got the heck on up out of here, because it wasn't going to get any better after that. So as they're talking, Anila was like, I guess Toya was like, nobody cares, and why is she so concerned? And so Toya kind of looks, and I guess she looks in Anila's direction, but I don't think she was even talking to Anila. But Anila was waiting. It was like, how double dutch, you waiting to get in. That's how Anila was like waiting to get in. Soon as she saw Toya glimpse over her way, she was like, what, Toya? And Toya was like, I'm not even talking to you. She was like, you're being disrespectful. Now, in the back, she ain't even on camera. Here comes Carmita. Remember I told you, she has some bad energy coming into the house. Carmita is in the back waiting, because she was like, I'm waiting on Anila to say something to Toya. So boom, boom, boom. As soon as she said that, here comes Carmita, was like, who are you talking to? So you could tell at that particular moment, I could tell that Carmita came there with an agenda. She was going to get Anila. That was her whole agenda, was to get Anila for Toya. She was Toya's bodyguard that night, and when she walked in earlier at the party, she came in looking and like, she came in like the female version of Suge Knight. She was out there. You could tell she was ready for Anila. But come on, Carmita. Okay, you can go at Anila. Anila is lightweight. Now, Audrey just read your friend for filth. Read your friend for filth. Did the math on in front of everybody that your friend don't have any money from this sale. But you ain't say not one word to Audrey. But as soon as Anila say something, you got to say, who you talking to? And you know what Anila tried? She tried her best not to back down. And she was like, you ain't even invited. You weren't even invited. You shouldn't even be here, sitting over here with us. And then so Carmita gets up and comes towards Anila. So, Anila is like, I don't think Anila can take Carmita, because Carmita, like I said, she's like, she ain't tall, but she seems like you don't want to, I don't think Anila want to rumble with the bee, huh? What? She don't want to rumble with Carmita. So Quad gets in the middle, it's like, no, we're not doing that. Not in my house. We are not about to be fighting in my house. She was like, everybody got rules, and one of them is you will not be fighting in my house. I'm with you, Quad. Don't be tussling up in my house and breaking my good stuff. And it's not a good look. It's other people outside of Bravo that's here. You're not going to be tussling and fighting in my house. She is no longer living in Memphis. You will respect Quad's house. So, Toya, is egging Carmita on from the back. You don't want Carmita to get up. Girl, Toya. So she is going back and so Quad is like trying to hold Carmita back. So Heavenly, as you know, it kind of chimes down. Heavenly, kind of whispers to, Toya's like, it's a rumor out that you were sleeping with somebody in the neighborhood, cheating on your husband. So Toya immediately looks over at Zaina and Anila and whoever. They never said whoever the other girl name was. She looks over there. Which one of y'all said that I'm cheating on my husband? I'll take my shoe off and Now I'm paraphrasing. I feel like she said I'm gonna take my shoe off and bust you in the mouth with it. So yeah, Toya is like, what? You and who's saying it? So they looking like, what? Like, they not trying to, they trying to still keep it cute. Toya is ready to go straight to the D on these girls. So I think Zaina pops out and said, kind of goes back and forth a little bit with Toya, and Anila also made mention that this used to be your best friend in the neighborhood, and Toya was like, this ain't my best friend. She was a neighbor. I don't know her. So it was just like it was a bunch of going back and forth. You could tell that Toya brought Carmita for Anila because you could tell she had a mission, and her mission was to get Anila. Now, according to Dr. Heavenly's live, because Dr. Heavenly always dropping a little bit of behind the scenes. Dr. Heavenly said in her live, go and check it out, that Carmita end up getting Anila. Like she pushed Anila or something like that, which they had an altercation. And I'm like, Carmita, again, Anila is lightweight. Why didn't you have the same energy for Audra? Why? You didn't want to go at Audra, but you wanted to go at Anila. Like that ain't even fair. So yeah, so there was an altercation with Carmita and Anila, but they didn't show it. And in the preview, we could see that there is an altercation between Audra and Toya. And from what Dr. Heavenly is saying, that Audra's punches did not land. Had they landed, it would have been a problem. And Dr. Heavenly also makes mention someone's out there doing mowing the lawn right when I'm trying to talk about this. So Dr. Heavenly also made mention that the reason why Audra's punches didn't land was because security swooped in. But she was like, now where was security when Contessa was about to beat her ass or beat her up? And then where was security when Anila got her behind whipped by Carmita? Carmita should not be allowed around the ladies anymore. If you're going to be doing that, you don't need to be allowed. You need to keep it cute. Fight with your words. Y'all too old for that. And Toya, if you want her that to intimidate Anila, you down bad for that too. You down bad. And Toya, quiet as kept, you don't need to be messing up no checks right about now. You trying to be building your other forever home. You don't need to be messing up no checks. Because like Dr. Heavenly always says, you can't count on Bravo checks. So be careful, Toya. Don't write a check that your butt can't cash. That's how my grandma used to say. Don't write a check your butt can't cash. So anyways, that's the recap of Married to Medicine, Holi-slay. What was this again? I think in episode 10. So yeah, it was pretty good. What would you rate this episode? I would rate it, I say an 8. It was a little boring up front, and then it picked up at the party a little bit. So yeah, I give it an 8. I give it a good solid 8 because I was kind of like looking up and down during the whole time, so I wasn't totally engaged. But when it got to the party, I got a little bit, I got a little bit more amped up and watched it. So comment down below. Tell me what you think. What would your rating be for the Married to Medicine episode 10? It was pretty good. At least the ending was. So again, this is your girl, Absolutely April. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified about all of my uploads. I'm going to be pushing out a lot more content. I just need to find the time, y'all. I got to find the time to, push out, get the content that I want to, because I didn't do Married to Meredith to Huntville, but I'm on the cusp of doing it. I'm not really sure. I want to do Potomac because that's coming out, and I love Potomac. I might do Salt Lake City. So yeah, I got to find the time to do everything because I wanna be able to discuss it with you all. I want to eventually be able to do lives. I'm not able to do lives because I still work, and it'll be difficult to do. But yeah, holla at your girl, subscribe to my channel, join the tribe. It's been real. Follow your path, follow your joy, follow your passion, and that's where you'll find fulfillment. Peace.